Welcome to the video. In this video, we're going to be going over stocks that I'm watching this week. This is the week of the 21st because tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day, which the market is closed, and today's the 19th that I'm recapping all this. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm literally just a dude who's at a computer pushing buttons, and sometimes it works in my favor. So this is not financial advice. This is purely for educational and entertainment purposes. So anyway, let's get into the stocks that I've been watching. Some of these are follow-throughs from last week that I thought were pretty good ideas or patterns were developing. I didn't actually pull the trigger on really any of them. However, some of them seem probable, so we will dive in. First one is AMAT material. First of all, this is we'll go back to a higher time frame. You see it's approaching like an all-time high. This is the all-time high from last March and had a big dip, whatever. Anyway, I'm basically just seeing if it wants to push above and make an all-time high and let it run for a couple percent. That's all I'm doing with this one, or I want to see. So here we see an earnings punched up, and it got a little slam down and pushes back up eventually. And then we have, so what I'm interested in is this candle, these two, this one, basically all this. Here it pushes up pretty light volume though, so not too much interest, and obviously that's why I kind of got hammered down. Then it obviously had a lot of support, a lot of volume too. Then this one kind of gets rejected again. Then this one, it actually does push above with a little bit higher volume, but still there's not enough volume to push it up. And especially this day, this was last Thursday, it pushed up again higher and looks like it had a really strong close. And then the following day it shot up and then got rejected all the way down. So it doesn't seem like the interest is there. However, maybe it'll come, not sure. That's why I'm just keeping it on watch just in case. We'll see what happens. Next up, we have Abercrombie and Fitch. I'm not really a fan of this stock at all, or this company, but this is basically, it shrunk immensely on earnings, like whatever, and now I guess it's looking to it, or it's attempting to fill this gap. I'm just kind of interested to see if it does. Right now it's pushing up, so it could. Volume doesn't really seem like it's there. I mean, if we get rid of this candle, and it's pretty high, but I don't know. I don't feel like anyone wants this. Like, who would want this stock? Who's buying this? But anyway, this is basically a gap fill. This is a 200 SMA, just seeing what other people are looking at. Yeah, looking to see if it fills the gap. Not too interested, no. We have JDX. This is one of the only ones that I have actually a position in right now. So what I'm interested in is also just the gold trade going on, or just all the tech or fundamental things going on in the market with the war possibly and inflation. So this is we'll go to a higher time frame, then we'll break it down. This is a high hit back in 2016 in August, and it's been in this channel, and now look to break it again. And now with all this going on, we see this little, it's a nice smooth curve. And then we go, whatever breaks down and goes up. This kind of looked like a cup and handle pattern. I don't really like that pattern at all. I don't really think it ever works. However, this looked like it, and I wanted a position to see what happened. And I'm kind of keeping this for a very long swing trade, possibly for maybe a month or two. See what happens. I mean, that's kind of long, but I guess but it's still considered as a trade. Yeah, I like that. It just literally looks like a nice, why can't I think of the word, like a circle, but it's like a half circle. Maybe it'll push up again. We'll see what happens. Next up, we have HON. Why Honeywell? Why is Honeywell on here? It's approaching, so it's had this grind line of, I guess, a resistance. And it's pushing that. If it breaks above, I don't know where this is going to go, but it's going to go pretty high. However, it probably won't. Within this big kind of channel, we have a smaller kind of rising channel, and then even a smaller one. Not really sure what's going to happen. However, I want to take a look at this. I want to keep it on watch, see if it bounces. If it funnels in here like a lot, it's either going to, it's got to break in one direction, see who wins, and we can tell. We'll have some indicators by the volume. Right now, it's kind of hard to tell, but with this kind of market, I feel like it's just going to go up. Like, everything's just flying up for no reason. So, yep. Qualcomm is next. Qualcomm actually on Friday broke this pattern, so we'll go on the big one real quick. Mega pattern. And so this is a possible target that it might hit if it breaks above. This thing's been pretty tearing. Anyway, it's had this like pattern of, I guess, kind of like a triangle, ascending triangle, but not really, because it broke above one day. And get that out of here. Get that volume out of here. So it's had this grind line going up for increasing support. and then it finally broke above with incredibly high volume relative to the other days. So I think this would look to continue during the week. Could be wrong, but I don't see. I think if it does break the 102 or even 100 level, psychological level, is probably going to get a lot of resistance, and then if the 102 is probably going to get slapped, just because of this very large grind line it's had. This is months we're looking at. See what happens. I think it's interesting. I didn't think it would break that soon. I thought it would maybe fall back to here or something, but it did break. Again, we'll see what happens during the week. We got SBUX, kind of the same idea. It's had this cup and handle kind of pattern, so I'm thinking it's gonna push up, maybe have a little pullback and a push, probably test this, bounce up. See, I don't know. Also, it has earnings pretty soon. This is the 28th next week. That might affect it, but I'm just looking at it. I don't really like these cup and handle patterns. However, I'm just picking them out really easily. I don't know how or why. I never really look for them. They just appear. Again, it could not be. It could just be me trying to find a pattern, but that's what it kind of looks like. See what happens. Probably not going to trade this. However, it's always interesting, again, to see what's happening. We got space on here. I actually really like the idea of this company, or just the like space tourism. I think it's going to be pretty hot in the future. I don't know when, but anyway, this thing is just a volatile mess. I mean, I was trading this like down here and stuff, and then it's just chaos. This is, if you're on the right side, you can make a pretty penny real quick, but if you're on the wrong side, you just get swamped. But this thing just boogied on up. So I have it on here watching it, because if it does something, it does it pretty harsh in one direction. Like, you see these thick candles? These are huge. These are like 8% candles. Here to here is 5-6%. This big boy one, 9%. Like, that's crazy. So if I'm in the mood of feeling risky and trying to make a quick buck, I just, throw it on in. This you definitely got to look at a lot less time frame to get something, but this is risky. It's just chaos. I got Twitter. Twitter was interesting. It got shot down on earnings a little while ago, and then now it's attempting to fill the gap. We're looking at this down here, and it kept failing, or it failed here. Then I thought it was gonna fail here again, but then it shot up. Probably not gonna trade this. I always lose when I bet on Twitter, so I'm gonna stay away from this. However, if you like, I don't like trading these gap fills. I don't like it, but I want to see what happens. So we have USO and WTI just for the oil. I just want to see what happens with the going on in the Middle East and whatever, and see if these things react explosively. I want to be in those if they happen. We have X. I like this steel company. You can see it. There's a lot of things, a lot of lines on here. Nothing fancy, but this thing rips when it does. I actually got out like up here. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. It was just a little too risky for me. I'm really happy because this thing just got destroyed. I don't remember what happened, but anyway, it got destroyed. I like this because this thing, when it moves, like, it just, like, again, like, look at these candles. Like, it's like 8% off of like a support, just for like no reason. And there's a lot of them too. Like 1, 2, 3. Like this, even if you caught it in a good time, like, you can just make a nice couple percent real quick if you're on the right side. And you can see, I don't really like looking at the MACD, but let's take a look at it. Look at that. See how the momentum, you can even just see it on the chart. The momentum's curving, and it's looking rather spicy, to say the least. Interesting to see what happens. If we catch it at the right time, you can make a couple easy percent. Not easy percent, but like explosive percent. Like, I mean, in a couple minutes, like, this thing will just rip. But yeah, it depends on the risk tolerance. Obviously, you got to downsize the position when you're in these riskier things, but all depends on what you want to do. So yeah, that's what I'm pretty much watching this week. Obviously, there are a lot of earnings I think are coming up too. I got to be on the lookout. There's obviously going to be, every day there's more stuff, like if news breaks out or if there is earnings. I didn't actually do any looking, but this is just things I guess pattern-wise, the earnings and what the news obviously will play it by ear or whatever as it happens, or I guess a little before it happens, be a little prepared. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. Let me know if you guys are watching any other cool stuff. Take a look at it or something. Yeah, just remember, I'm not a financial advisor or anything. This isn't trade advice. This is just things that I'm personally watching. Everyone has their own risk tolerance and things that they like to do. So I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm just telling what I'm looking at. Thanks for watching. See you.